Hey everyone, this is Pharaoh Silver, the Pharaoh of Beer Money Finance, and this is another Beer Money Roundtable. And joining me with the panel here is AJDownTown, Beer Money Network, of course. By the way, go check out the Discord. Seriously, check it out. Also, the other two in the Discord is Shane Kelly, ssckelley.
Hello, everybody.
Y'all know him as the most awesome sports announcer that we have on the channel. And of course, the minigame and now social casino legend, TastyWallet.
How's it going?
Hey, how you doing? So, yes. Well, he was a minigame legend. He did quite well the Atlas Earth minigames. For his time. I mean, now him and I both are like, top 500, and we're pretty much done. Me, maybe Golf and Racer, but like, I got my win now. I'm good. He got all his wins. He's good, so I get it. So anyway, the topic today is going to be on something that I've been talking about now for the last few videos, at least as of the time this is going to be up, and that is, what is beer money? So like, a lot of people have been kind of asking me certain apps that I would have never thought to be beer money apps or rewards apps that they could possibly qualify as beer money to them, maybe, but in reality, it's not something that we want to talk about on this channel, especially with Beer Money Mania heading up. Like, we're going to go through some of that today, and we're going to talk about our own criteria for what we think beer money is. So, I'm going to show my 4 criteria first that I've been talking about over the YouTube video, over the X video, and the social casino video was long before that, so I wasn't talking about it there. But the four criteria that I had was: 1, is it legit? Because obviously I want to make sure that actually pays out. 2, the commitment. There should be no commitment. Or I think it was just straight up no commitment is what I went with. So yeah, no commitment. The third thing being, is there a free barrier to entry? And the fourth being no to low effort. So I've already talked about mine endlessly now for like video upon video at this point. So I'm going to give the floor, to my 3 panelists here. Who wants to start?
Well, I'll leave my opinions to last because you and I have discussed this a little bit. I want to hear what other people think.
Yeah, so so should we flip a coin on this one?
Well, I guess I'll go first. Go ahead, Tasty. Take the floor.
All right, we'll start with Tasty.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
All right, so I like your 4 criteria because obviously the first one, like, if it's not legit, it's not beer money. All right, I mean, I think we all would agree with that.
Goblin X.
So as far as as far as the commitment, yeah, exactly. As far as the commitment is concerned, I kind of see where you're going with that. The no commitment. There's some stuff that I do, like obviously the Atlas Earth. If you want to make more, you have to commit more time to it, in order to be able to make more. So I can kind of see where you're going with that.
Okay, I do want to correct on that one. When I mean commitment, an example is not just commitment of time, where time in equals time produced, money produced, but in that if you don't see an ad in the next 7 days, you have your account deleted. That would be what I mean by commitment. Commitment to actually function the app itself, not so much like how much effort you're putting in. Because like,
I thought you meant financial, because I know you're a big financial guy.
No.
Money in this stuff.
That was the third thing. Which, go ahead, Tasty. The third thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right. So yeah, I could see where you're going with that. As far as the free though, I would probably, if it were me, I'd probably modify that a little bit to, either completely free, or it could be also something that's low cost. So something that's somewhere between $50 to $75 a month. Maybe even possibly 100. If you're doing more than that, then it's starting to turn more into like an investment. And then of course the low effort. Yeah, that's certainly a staple for beer money. There's a couple other things that I was thinking about when it came to Beer Money. One of the things is that typically a Beer Money tends to be, in terms of um, the amount of time that you put into it versus the amount of money that you make from it. Typically, these are things that are going to be below minimum wage.
Correct.
Not always, but typically that's the case. So if we're looking at, something that's going to give you, say, $150 a month, and you're getting like $10 an hour on that, I'd have to maybe start to question about whether or not that's Beer Money.
Well,
Um,
okay, what about my Raid Shadow Legends offer on free cash where I profited about $350 and I put about 15, 20 hours into it? Like, that's 15, 17 to 20 an hour right there. That's a nice little chunk there. Now, granted, I put in like $65 into it as well, but to gain
right, exactly.
400
So
something, but yeah.
it's starting to get into that little bit of a gray, and I think that's the other thing that we have to think about when it comes to Beer Money. I don't think these are like hard and fast rules. These are just sort of like, gray areas. So for example, let's talk about social casinos, something that I've been doing a lot lately. There is technically a free to play path for these things that you could do. If you sign up for a whole bunch of them and make about $500 a month. That's totally possible.
Okay, not quite that,
Um,
guys. I honestly, like, since that video, I have increased my repertoire from like 14 to 36 now, and it's probably closer to like 350 to 400 a month in my opinion, but that's just me.
okay. Let's say up to $500 a month then. Yeah, but how much time are you putting into for freedom? Like, how long does it take to collect? What, 15 minutes a day, and then maybe an hour to run through some of that stuff, especially because a lot of it's automated, so you can just set it and then forget it for about 10 or 15 minutes. So that's it. It seems to me like that's sort of getting outside of the Beer Money sort of stuff, just because of that. But it also depends on how many sites. Because if you do it per site, each site's not going to make you, that much a month. It's going to be like, I mean, like 30, 40, 50, $20, $30 a month. But it's still low effort. It's still technically low effort. So, there's a case to be made that it could be if you do it per site, but there's also a case to be made to say that it's not, because of the totality of it. So, we can kind of maybe discuss that.
Well, now it's time to discuss it. Please explain why you wouldn't think it would be considered a Beer Money then.
So one reason to think that it wouldn't be is um is because of the amount of money that you can make per hour on these social casinos. Like, it takes about what, a minute to collect it, and of course you have to, and except for stake.us, all of these you have to run through the money at least one time by playing something, slot machine, blackjack, craps, roulette, just something where you're able to take that money and run through it at least once and gamble it before you can cash it out. Um, so that, in that aspect of it, yeah, we're looking at about 10, 15, $20 an hour for some of these sites, in terms of time commitment, which is still technically low effort, but it's a huge payoff. Um, at the same time, if per site, if we go based off of Pharaoh's criteria, they would be legit. There's no commitment. It takes about 3 months before they'll delete your account. It may even take longer than that, if you don't do something with it. All of these have a free to play option, and they're all low effort. So if we go by strictly by that criteria, then that would be a case to be made that these are indeed Beer Money sites.
Yeah, I do believe that like inactivity deletions are just something that could happen in some sites, like if you're not there for like 3 months, but it has to be reasonable. I'm talking like, if you haven't put in an ad in 3 days or something and we're deleting your account, or 7 days, that's not reasonable in my opinion.
Right.
Doesn't AE have an eventual timeout period? It's like 2 years. It's a long time, but
Yeah,
they have a
yeah.
they have a timeout period as well, where if you don't go in, they're going to delete it and release everything.
Yeah,
back.
but like for example, okay, I'm actually going to go into social casinos here. McLuck has a 6-month reset period. Rolling Riches has a 6-month reset period. Those are reasonable. But like if they did like a 6-day reset period or something like that, that would not be reasonable in my opinion. Because what if you're on vacation, you know?
Do you have an example?
The closest one I can think of is Neobucks. So with Neobucks, they have and they're even borderline because they have a 30-day inactivity deletion for your account, which by the way, they don't pay very well anyway. They are legit. They just pay absolutely garbage, but still like 30 days for that is like ridiculous, especially if you put as much money as they try to encourage you to in that app. So Neobucks
That
would be
does
the
seem
biggest.
short.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, and I think Paidverts. Now I could be wrong about this. This was way back in the 2010s. Paidverts had a 14-day inactivity deletion, or at least a 14-day inactivity reset. That is also too far beyond it. But the biggest examples I would say is just a typical 9-to-5 job. If you don't show up to work and don't give a reason for 2 weeks, you're gonna get fired. You know that is commitment. So. Yeah, so an example like that basically is like that's what I mean by no commitment. I would like to get to Shane now, and I'm gonna try not to talk over this time. I apologize for that, Tasty. So Shane,
Well, my criteria is really focused on the amount of effort that I have to put into it. If it's low effort and I'm making any amount of money, I don't have a dollar amount in mind. I try to avoid apps using memory space on my phone, and sometimes it comes down to that. To some of the lower paying because it's just not worth it. I would say at least $15 a month I need to be making off of it in order for it to be on my phone. But otherwise, it comes down to what do I have to do for that money. Some of the stuff like surveys, they actually take quite a bit of effort and quite a bit of time commitment in some of these survey sites in order to make any money off of it. It almost feels like a job. Good money in it, but per hour, like what Tasty referring to, it's not minimum wage even, unless you can get into qualify for like a really good survey site. But I look for stuff that if it does require effort, it's stuff that I'm already doing anyway. Whether if I'm shopping, I'm a fan of some of those like receipt apps or like Swag Bucks, those type of things that help maybe make me a little extra money on things that I'm already buying anyway. Or what really brought me to Beer Money Engine was exercise. My very first one Beer Money app was Cashwalk, and I stand behind it. I still love it. Yeah, I know a couple of you don't like that app as much because they did, nerf it to a point where you do have to walk quite a bit. But I look at it as I'm doing something to help my health, and I'm getting rewarded for it. So I do have a few of those on my phone as well. As far as social casinos, I've been starting. At first, I was like, no. I mean, I hate to discourage anything that could lead to somebody gambling because there's a lot of risk involved with gambling, and sometimes it would just take getting involved in a social casino, and they give you all this free money, and the next thing you know, some people can't resist that urge to start funneling their actual finances into these apps. So that's always been like a big caution of mine and why I've never really considered them beer money apps. However, having said that, stake is one that I've been doing. I look at it as a way to throw some of my free cash money into because they give you a little extra on top of it. Plus, yeah, they give you a free dollar every day. I've also ventured into another social casino app that where like what Tasty was talking about, you do have to wash it through a game, but I'm sitting on about $100 so far in it. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe because it's very. I go into the app once a day to click a button, really, and then I'll let it pile up, and then like every week I'll go in if there's a game if I do need to wash the money at all, I'll go in and spend like maybe 2 minutes running it through like a Plinko game, for example. So it's really low effort, and as long as you can control yourself on it and not start throwing your own personal money into it, then yeah. Another one that I do a lot of apps that also have like ad watching now that does take time, but if I'm doing other things, like if I'm walking, watching TV, or sometimes even while I'm working, just clicking a button, why not? A little extra money on the side. So
Doing
I'm
bridge
pretty
right
wide
now.
open. Yeah, I just played an Atlas Earth ad myself here just a few minutes ago.
I just finished
So
my
that
50 bridge ads, so
I'm doing my bridge right now.
you doing your bridge? Yeah. So see what I mean? This is like
There
the
you go.
effort is that easy that you can actually multitask with ease, and that's why I think I would take
Right.
effort over payout. Like if they're going to pay me, actually legitimately pay me $300 to look at one ad, I'll do it for $300. That I consider that beer money, in my opinion. But I don't know. Tasty also says like it could be typically minimum wage, but like a lot of it is due to multitasking, the ability to be able to do something on top of what you're already doing in life.
That's exactly what I would talk about in effort. If it's something
Right.
that I can do while I'm doing something else, like I'm sitting here anyway, and I hit a button, who cares? That level of effort, I don't have to pay attention to it. I'm all about it, right? If I'm out walking anyway, that's no additional effort to make the money from it. If I'm doing all these things anyway, then who cares? Like, let's grab that money. That's some good beer money for nothing, right? I'll take it.
Yeah, so that's so I feel like with the payout versus effort thing. I mean, Tasty, Shane, you both make really good points on the end regarding like, well, if it's too much money, it's definitely enough money to buy a pack of beers at least. Versus, I want to be able to do this while I'm sitting on the toilet or I'm ready to go to sleep or something like that. So I mean, yeah, I get it, but I do kind of lean towards the lower effort if I had to pick one, basically. So I would say that's why I think the social casinos are more beer money oriented. Now, survey sites is a little interesting because for the longest time we've talked about survey sites being beer money apps, and I still think they are because I don't think that it's that much effort, at least most of them that I go on. Sites like OnePulse are only like usually 3 to 5 questions long. OneQ is usually only a few questions long. Paid Viewpoints usually only a few.
Google Rewards is like 1 or 2 questions, and
Yeah.
you're getting like 10 cents. I'm making a couple of extra bucks a month off of it.
Yeah.
That would be a beer money. I will say though, going into some of these sites like the surveys on AE, that you could spend like a half hour and earn very little money. So it's a time commitment.
Well, Atlas Earth in itself I would say is an app. So it's not like I'm putting CPX research in Beer Money Mania. So
But even like things like Prolific, that essentially becomes a job. You can't really do anything else
Yeah.
outside of that.
Yeah, I've been on that for a while, and I would say I'm starting to think that maybe Prolific and I think it was Cloud Connect
That's
are
one I
two
use, Cloud
sites
Connect.
that I'm starting to think maybe are not beer money, because in order for you to get any sort of money from them, you do have to commit quite a bit of time to at least get a payout.
But are
from
you
those.
required to do that, or do they kick you out?
I don't think they kick you out, but at the same time, if you want to get a payout at all, you do have to do surveys, because that's what it is. It's not like there's any videos you can run. It's not like you get daily credit for doing anything. You have to do the surveys, otherwise you won't get paid.
Well, I mean, MTurk is the same thing, but there's plenty of like very short 1 minute, 2 minute surveys that will get you 20, 30, 40 cents. And I've been doing those, and I would do those like sometimes when I'm really bored for like 15 to 20 minutes, and I'll make myself, $1, $2 a day doing that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there are some of those in Prolific as well. There's a couple of like 1 or 2 minute ones that you can sit on the can, and while you're doing that, you can just run you can do one survey and get 50 cents, and then boom, you've made 50 cents for the day. So if you do that, once a day for 30 days, you're gonna get like $15, I think.
Yeah.
For that month.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I mean, it would be a possibility.
if you use it that way,
yeah.
Yeah, if you use it that way, then yeah, you can categorize it as beer money.
Yeah, to me,
Still, here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You still have to go in and make that commitment to it. Like right now, none of us are sitting here doing surveys. We might be sitting here watching ads, multitasking, right? Can make a little extra money on the side. But who here is actually doing a survey right now? Are you really?
No, I'm not doing a survey. I'm just hitting ads,
I was
man.
gonna say.
I'm like, I'm not doing survey. I actually hate surveys. I hate them with a passion.
Okay, I did do
gotta-
a 2-minute survey once when we did a roundtable. Just because I saw it and I was like, 2 minutes on MTurk for 70 cents. I got to do this. Like this is something
I'm
I got to do
looking
right
prolific
now.
right now just to see what's in there.
But is that something that's typical though, or is that like a one-off?
Okay, 2-minute
I expect
surveys.
it every day, right?
Yeah.
Could you expect it every day?
I can expect a 2-minute survey for at least for anywhere between 20 to 30 cents every single day. Yes.
Okay, and
At
then,
least
but
one, if not more.
That's $6, $6 to $7 a month. Okay, yeah, it's okay. You'll buy a beer with that.
Matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to move my OBS here. I'm going to go into my MTurk suite while you guys are talking, and I'm going to tell you what's available right now. So just give me a moment.
Yeah, so the reason I never really liked Prolific is because it required full-time effort for me. Like, yeah, you have to pay attention, especially if you really want to get any sort of money from them. It's a long survey. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
2 of them right there.
Yeah, well, 30, 40 cents. All right.
Okay, so we have currently, and by the way, I'm just letting you all know, this is January. This is the months or the unalive months, what you can call it, for MTurk. 5 fun questions, 1 minute, 13 cents. A survey on the diagnosis and monitoring of vitamin deficiencies, 2 minutes, 24 cents. A fun survey, 2 minutes, 30 cents. Mental health and well-being in stressful occupations, 2 minutes, 15 cents. So if you combine just those 4 and you take about, well, let's say you have about a minute of rest total, or 2 minutes of rest total, that's about 8 minutes worth for 13, 28. I think, and I could be calculating this wrong, about 70 cents roughly, because one of the 2 minutes one just disappeared, but because they go real
like
quick.
that.
Yeah, so but something like 70 cents.
I use Cloud Connect.
Yeah,
I went into Cloud Connect just now. I've got 2 surveys available to me. Both of them take 2 minutes, and it's 70 cents. I will do those. The thing is, though, I got to log into it and do. This is not something that I can do while I'm working.
Set it and forget it.
Yeah, I can't. So that's why that's why I'm not so sure that surveys anymore are really beer money, because you've got to make the commitment to do them.
And then here's OnePulse with a 20-cent survey that just popped up for me.
So I'm just kind of let me just describe my experience right now, because right now when I'm doing the survey, like I can hear you guys talking, but my mind is like somewhat tuned you out. So I'm listening to the conversation, but I'm not really engaged into the conversation, because I'm so focused on trying to do this survey, because I want to do this right. You know, I don't want to give them bad information. So I have to sit there and I have to read it. I have to think about it. I have to go through and see what options I want to pick that I think are accurate to what I think they are. And it's like Shane said, it's a lot of commitment to just to do one survey.
It is.
And I just earned 20 cents on the KFC survey, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
You getting 20 cents now on the OnePulse?
Yeah, 20 cents. Yep.
I'm on 17.
Ooh.
Now on Cloud Connect, you got to be careful, because like I'm in one right now. If you don't pay attention to it, they throw questions at you to where if you answer it wrong, they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
And then it can lower your score and hurt you from getting more surveys.
Okay, so
no, you have to pay attention. You have to, and you should. You should. I mean, they are paying you for your actual. We're not saying doing anything to cheat, steal here, right?
Right.
You do it, right? But you have to pay attention, and that's where your focus is. You can't focus on anything else. Meanwhile, I can hit this button here for my penny over on Benjamin or Bridge or whatever, and we can have this conversation. The only thing you might see is my hand go like this for half a second, and then we're back to normal.
I just finished my survey.
Well, I enjoyed that 20 cents or whatever it was.
It was
13 cents.
30 cents actually.
Oh, 30 cents. All right.
Yeah, it's a pretty good survey.
Okay, but I mean, like, it's not something that you have to really commit yourself to doing. Like, I don't know. I guess we have to kind of define effort too, in a way, as well.
My effort is anything that really takes that I can't do in parallel with something else that I'm already doing.
Well, technically, you can do a 1-minute survey while you're on the can.
I could do a 2-minute one.
We could do a 20-minute one. What is this? I don't know what we're talking about right now. But yeah. But I'm talking more like I've got work going, hit a button, who cares, right?
Okay, yeah, it's not going to do that.
Like
Yeah.
even with the social casinos, you can still set it up to automate through all that. Once you hit the button to automate it, you can do that and focus on something else while it does whatever it does.
There are a lot of
I wouldn't
surveys out there
recommend
there are a lot of surveys out there that are just multiple choice that you just read it, you know your answer and stuff, and you kind of already know your answer. Like the KFC one, for example, asked me, do I eat a KFC often? It's like, yeah, of course I eat a KFC. Well, define often, but like when I go out to eat, it is one of my go-tos. So
Yeah, but you still have to think about it.
really,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's would you still think it belongs in Beer Money Mania though? That'd be the next question.
Yeah, I mean, you remember last year those survey sites? Would they all get knocked out like the first round?
Yeah, they
It
did.
doesn't seem like a lot of people like them. Everybody seems to be using them, at least one form or another, but not a lot of people really like them.
I'm still trying to
They
figure out
use it
how.
They want to make a little extra
One
money.
Yeah.
pulse lost to Mintopoly. That one was
Wow.
Yeah. One pulse
Great. How's
lost to
Mintopoly going this last year? That's another discussion, right?
It doesn't have a vote. I can confirm
Well,
that.
and also Prolific and Cloud Connect are really hard to get into. Also,
They are.
I mean, these are the best survey sites that are out there, but I think a lot of people have really bad experiences because they've done CPS research or they've done TAP research or they've done some of these other ones that
They're
are
awful.
very, or even the ones on Atlas Earth.
They're awful.
They're just, yeah, they're terrible. And so because people have bad experiences with them, that is part of the reason why people don't like them so much.
And CPX research
when
is
you
one of the
do-
better ones.
When you do get into like a Cloud Connect or Prolific, then surveys kind of become a little better for you because then at least they're sending you like my Cloud Connect. They never very rarely. I think one or two the whole entire time I've been on it. And I've been on it for over a year that I've ever gotten where a survey was kicked me out. They're only sending you surveys that you qualify for, but like Tasty said, it takes some effort to get into it to qualify for them. And then once you get in, there is like a huge questionnaire that you have to go through, talking about all of your demographics to where then they'll start sending you surveys.
That's true.
So it takes effort. Again, bottom line, surveys, effort involved. So beer money,
I would say
Are you
that's
doing it to make extra money? Yeah, you are. You probably are. If you're listening to this video, you're probably doing something
yeah.
on the survey to make a little extra money. But it's not easy. This isn't something that you can just set it and go, or you've got to really put a little bit of effort into it.
I would say surveys. I would probably leave that to one's discretion. For me, because for me at least, I see it as that. But that's
there's a case for it, and there's also a case against it. I
yeah,
would say.
because for me, like all the surveys I do outside of like Atlas Earth stuff for challenges, which I never do a survey that is longer than 5 minutes. Never. And that has allowed me to see surveys in a more positive light than I think you three probably do. Hopefully, maybe that might be part of the reason why I'm seeing it a little bit differently, is because like paid viewpoint, I never do a survey longer than 5 minutes. I just close it. If I see more than, let's say, 6 minutes, I just close it immediately. I don't even bother. I don't care how much it pays.
If it pays you $20,
okay,
it takes an hour.
Okay, no, I wouldn't actually. No, because I can do a lot more with my time. Yeah,
you can actually get those in Cloud Connect. They put you like in a jury type situation.
If I have nothing else better to do, yes. If I have nothing else better to do, sure. But like most of the time now, I'm working on other things like my YouTube channel and other things like that make me almost as much money a rate, and it helps me outgrow this channel. So for me, I'm more focused on, yes, I still do beer money and stuff like that, and I put my focus into some of those apps, but my focus is on helping other people make money at the same time and legitimately. For someone else, though, if they might feel like $20 an hour is awesome for a survey. Actually, that's a really good rate.
I got some Beer Money apps that will maybe pay me $20 for an entire month.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good.
And here I can do it in an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
all I do. Let me just tell everybody, these don't come up very often. So I don't want you going to try to get into Cloud Connect or Prolific looking for, because they are kind of rare. But it's just a question I ask because David's only said he does 1 or 2 minute ones. So, but one that throws $20 at you for an hour of your time, yeah, I'm thinking about it too.
Okay, so
and the thing of it is, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can, which is great. I mean, if you want to spend an hour of your life doing a survey for $20, hey, that's fine. I've done them too. There's some ones out there that are I found extremely interesting, and it took me 90 minutes to do it, but they paid me I think it was like $55 to do the survey, which is a lot more than $20 an hour. But I mean, it was very. I can't talk about it, but I found it interesting, so I went ahead and took the time just because I found it interesting. But at the same time, like Pharaoh was saying, you could, and like I was saying too. I mean, you have a couple 1-2 minute ones that you could do while you're.
Yeah, and those are the only surveys I did. The longest one I've done, in the last few years, and this is one of only 3 that I've done that was longer than 15 minutes, and just in general, was a 2-hour interview one for $140. That's probably the best one that I've gotten. Yeah. And this was before.
I love the in-person ones. I love the in-person ones where
it was not in person. It was not in person. It was not in person. It was on the phone.
I've done the in-person ones. They go in, they give you some sandwiches for dinner. You sit there and wait, and there's a chance that you won't even get called in to do the actual panel. I love doing those, but you can only do a couple of those a year.
Sandwiches, I'm in.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was great. Yeah. Plus pay, so it was great. And I think they paid roughly, most of them paid about $100 an hour when it came down to it. So they were really nice paying. Cash money up front. It's great.
All right, so that's with surveys. Some other one, and social casinos. Some other ones and this is one that got a little bit more traction the last couple months. And I've talked about them both in videos already, YouTube and X. So I did them. I did the videos already, and I've already said that they're both not beer money, and it really comes down to for me at least, down to effort. So YouTube, you can see the effort with YouTube, but with X, it's a little bit more questionable. And well, let's talk about that, because I was originally going to keep this as kind of a surprise for Beer Money Mania, but I think at this point, too many people have talked about it. We need to talk about this.
Are we talking about in terms of YouTube and X? Are we talking about advertising revenue?
Yeah. So for me, the reason why I said it was down to a matter of effort is because with YouTube, obviously, you got to make a video, and the amount of effort you put into making a video is hours upon hours upon hours, and the requirements as well. And that's the other thing too. We have to define effort. What I mean by defining effort back in the survey sites, this is another way to define effort. Like, the requirements are on YouTube, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Do you know how difficult it was for this channel to get there?
Yeah, I mean, look, if we're talking about you make one video one time and you got residual income from that, okay, I might consider that beer money, because that was a one-time effort, but all the
That's
effort
not possible anymore.
Yeah, well, that's exactly my point. It's not possible. You're basically treating this as a second job, a side job now, which you're doing a very good job at it, and it should continue. But it is taking you. I mean, you're setting hours of your day aside to do this YouTube, and it shows.
Yeah. 15 to 20 hours a week is how much I put into
That's a part-time job.
It is a part-time
job, right?
Yeah.
So I can't. You can't call that beer money. I mean, it's good money. It's a good side gig. It is not beer money.
Yeah, and by the way, go ahead. I forgot to mention with X too, the requirements being 5 million impressions in 90 days. And
how do you do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And an X Premium account. And
so it's not free to play. It's not free to play. You have to pay to play.
Right.
And while we're on those topics of those type of apps. Another one that you might want to mention is, well, I'm going to mention is Proxy Picks. I mean, that's one where you have to go out and take pictures and then answer some questions on that. It's side money.
It's a side
but
hustle. It's a side hustle.
it is. It's like an extra part-time job. Now, can you make a little extra money doing it? Absolutely. And if you're somebody that's working in a position where you're out and about anyway, it's probably perfect for you. But for someone like me to do it, I'd have to go out and get in my car, drive somewhere, take these pictures, answer the questions. And for me, no,
It's effort. You have to go there. You can't do that while you're doing something else. That's what you're doing. Like, I do a lot of mystery shops myself. I go around to different restaurants and stuff like that to do mystery shops. I've done a ton of them. And you know, that's effort though. Like after you go and do the shop, you have to fill out the entire survey of how the experience went. Look, that takes a lot of time. I do it because, hey, free meal, love that. Paid to eat, love that sort of thing. But it's a side gig. It's a side hustle. It's not beer money.
Okay,
I would say the same thing is true about my guide site as well. Because well, I finally got a payment from the advertising revenue. So thank you for everyone who's visited my sites and didn't turn ad blocker off. I really appreciate that, or signed up for one of my referrals. Really appreciate that. So, but you know, that site, I put a lot of hours into writing those guides and updating them and keeping things fresh. Um, so, and also just updating and more updating as Atlas Earth releases stuff. So yeah, I don't think that's considered beer money either.
I guess the reason why I mention this is especially because in Beer Money Mania there have been a little bit of talk specifically around X because of the effort that involves with like just writing a post and making money off of it. And it's more along the lines of like, oh, people think, oh, I'm just going to post this, and if I post enough times, it's fine. And there's this guy that they see that's posted 2,000 times in a single day for 90 days and now makes $3,000 a month. So I don't know if you guys have heard about that, actually. I put that up here, actually. I showed it on the X video, but I will show it here again in case people have not remember that. But that was where a lot of this came from. And it's like, I want to like redefine what effort is as well. That effort just doesn't involve the amount of work you put in. And it doesn't involve if you like to do it. 2,000
That's a lot of work. So he's going on everybody's posts and responding hi.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. That's, first of all, really dumb. And, you know.
He responds good morning as in GM. So that takes like
how much? Yeah. Okay. Hi GM. Same effort. Yeah. But like how many times did he have to do that? How much time was he sitting at his computer every day going through post to post hitting GM, right?
Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah, it had to have been like a 12 to 14 hour thing. Like
easy.
Yeah, I actually tried the whole like what people told me the reply guide tactic, and I was gonna do it as sort of a video originally for Beer Money Engine, and I decided to get rid of it. The idea because honestly, it's just not worth the effort. The amount of time that you had to put into it for me to just do. I think I peaked at 450 posts in one, or 450 replies in one day for it was like 600K impressions that day, which barely put me enough for that single day.
All right, I got another one.
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft.
Okay, Uber and Lyft is definitely not. No, right off the bat.
That's a side hustle, man.
Yeah, right off the bat, it's okay. Right off the bat, you're talking the amount of like you have to put in a car, so you have to invest into a car if you don't have a car. So if you're in an urban area, you have to find, or maybe in an urban area you can do it while walking, but it does limit your radius and limit the amount that you can do. Well, that's for Uber Eats. I'm sorry, and DoorDash. My bad. But Uber and Lyft, you need a car that you just have to, or you need some kind of vehicle. So right off the bat, it's pay to play to begin with, and then the amount of effort that you put in. No, it is not. It sure pays like beer money, but it's definitely not beer money.
Yeah, the pay is not great anymore. It's not COVID times anymore.
And plus, you're paying for extra insurance too. If you're doing Uber or Lyft, you have to have a special insurance in order to be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd ask.
Do you have to for Uber Eats and DoorDash? I don't think you have to for Uber Eats and DoorDash, do you?
No, for delivering food, no,
Okay.
it's not the same way.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I don't. They did not. My insurance did not require that for doing DoorDash.
Okay.
My son did it.
It might be region specific, is what I'm trying to say.
It could be.
Okay.
But I've got a very popular insurance, and they absolutely require, if you're door dashing, you need to pay that extra fees on your insurance in order for them.
Well, that just makes it even less valuable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
but that, I mean, I think out of all of them, I would say Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats are the least likely I would consider Beer Money. They're not even borderline; they are just straight up side gigs.
Yeah,
yeah.
But they enter into gig territory, and that is definitely not this channel.
However, while I'm doing that, I'll throw in a couple of my car moving apps that I have, and I'll use those as Beer Money while I'm door dashing or whatever.
Well, you don't have to put much effort into it. Well, you have to put a little bit of effort in the front, but
you hit a button.
Yeah, and Hive Mapper especially is a little interesting to me because it's
we talk about that. That's a whole different animal.
It's technically pay to play, but at the same time, they do have the fleet option that you could get in for free and just pay someone. So it's like,
which I offer, by the way.
Yeah,
I've got cameras. I'm sending out.
Technically is, and yeah, I did say I was going to be a part of your fleet just to help support you. Especially because, again, friend to friend, I'd rather do that, and especially since I just can't invest in that much right now in a camera. I can't invest in too much because of the house. So, but yeah, but no, that I would see that as Beer Money because there is a free barrier to entry, even if that was made by the community. Now, there might be some of the tournament where it's going to be like, it's kind of borderline and all that. But would there be any of the things that we talked about today in specifically that you think should just flat out, no question, okay, other than Uber, Lyft, DoorDash and all that, we already know that, and the sports books that don't, like actual casinos, that don't count, that you think should not even be in the tournament?
I mean, we talked about it. X can't be in there.
YouTube and X have at least one vote right now.
Yeah, but I mean, they can't be. That level of effort in it is not minimal. It is not Beer Money level. That's side gig territory.
I do agree with that. I would agree with that. But I don't know, Tasty, Shane.
I would agree with AJ.
Yep,
with X
well.
even on X.
5,000 impressions in 1 month, dude.
Especially on X.
If you have to if you automate it, but man, that's getting in legality terms right there. Nah, man, it can't.
No, automation is illegal. And if you're
that's
doing
what I'm
it,
saying.
And if you're doing it the way that it's meant to be doing it, I mean, I know some examples people show their payouts that would show up on my feed. I saw Andrew Yang, for example, show like a $100 payout, and he has like 1 million plus followers. So that's if you're doing it the way that it's supposed to be done, not if you're gaming the system. So, yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna add that, let's add OnlyFans.
Yeah. So, I would agree with that. I would agree. Okay, crypto mining sites.
Wait! I want to go to your OnlyFans.
No.
Oh,
No.
Go for it, AJ. Someone will pay to watch
I'm going
you.
for Shane's right now.
So
kidding, not happening.
No. So crypto mining sites like now the ones that actually offer free ones, yes, but I'm saying like the ones that don't, like Go Mining, would you think they count?
My opinion. I want to hear theirs.
Yeah.
And then I'll give mine.
you mean they're not scams?
Go Mining is not. Go Mining is not one.
Okay.
Technically, Go Mining does pay out.
Yeah, Go Mining does pay out. They are legitimate, and this is where like people have to define scam. It's like you're putting money in, and they have put in legalese, of course, that you could lose money with this purchase. and that the thing is, you will
But AE
probably
does that too. AE has that same sort of language. So.
yeah, but with AE you
does.
can actually get your money back. That's just
And pretty quickly too.
yeah, but by quickly we mean a few years. Unlike Go mining, which I've looked at it and I know, and unless the price of Bitcoin goes up to like $500,000 in the next year or so, you're not getting your money back.
Okay, so you know what? Let's add another criteria, and this is going to eliminate that. You have to get paid within, let's say, a month of
But
cash
if
out.
there's no barrier, but if you want a free barrier of entry, what do you mean by like you have to be paid within?
Yeah, because some of them do take a little bit longer to hit the let's even use Caden, which I love as a Beer Money app. You just set it up. It takes at least 2 months to get a payout
Yeah.
from Caden, but you do absolutely nothing after you set it up.
Maybe
right?
once
You
a
just cash
year.
out.
I would go
Yeah.
once a year, maybe.
Oh, I go in every now and again and make sure all the accounts are synced up.
No,
but,
I mean, I would agree with the criteria if you make it once a year.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to say. You can't have such a small time frame because
Right.
apps like Caden would directly go against that, which
I
are one of my
understand
favorite.
that. And also, dingdingding.com takes a month to get a cash out.
Yeah.
No. With now I'm going to give my opinion on on Go mining. Look, I was it March? Is that what frame we said? Pharaoh, I looked at in March, I signed up for a $25 rig just to test it out because a lot
Right.
of people were talking about it. And I was looking at it like 10 ways to Sunday at the math behind it. I'm like, there is no way this thing is going to be worth $25. But I took some of my beer money as a tryout for those out there so they don't have to. And invested in a rig, right? So from that time till now, I think I've made $7, and most of that was on the front end. Now I'm making less than a penny a day from it. The amount of time it will now take for me to get my return on that has gone from 3 to like 5-ish years right now.
As I said
that is freaking ridiculous.
As I said on the review, the reason why it is this way is because the amount of Bitcoin that you will mine will keep going down, especially with each halving. The maintenance costs will not. So eventually, you're going to get to a point that you're going to have to buy another miner if you want to keep mining.
It's ridiculous,
and that's the thing people don't realize.
Yeah,
and that's the thing people tell me I don't know anything about crypto. It's like I know plenty about Bitcoin, my friend. That's exactly the reason why I ain't part of it. They will pay out. You put in a $500 miner, you will get the $50 that you need to cash out of there. It's currently 50, maybe like 52 now, because it's 50,000 Satoshi, which is $53 right now. But good, yeah, at what cost, basically.
I got more for free from Ember than that. Not even close. Like Ember pays like way better and it's free.
Yeah, so I would, as much as I promised I'd do an olive branch to allow Go mining in. After I saw that, I would say I wouldn't put Go mining in either. That Go mining would be disqualified. And I don't know if you two agree with that, I will also disqualify it along with X and YouTube. I mean, if anyone has a counter, just let me know. No,
my opinion to that app. So
there are free options out there for those similar to Go mining that are watch an ad, earn some Satoshi. It's the same idea.
Ember.
There's a couple of them. Well, I'm not even Ember. Ember is not considered like a rig type of scenario.
Yeah.
There's Bitcoin Miner and all these other ones that if you really wanted to watch an ad to run a rig to earn Satoshi or Bitcoin, yeah. That all exists. Go mining specifically has no free to play option. It's going to take forever to get your money back. I can't.
I do want to talk more about crypto as beer money and Web3 as beer money just in general when Bronze Dragon is here. So that is something that we're going to be doing in the next video. Is I do want to invite Bronze Dragon Gaming for that one because he would definitely have a lot more insight for what Web3 was meant to be. We talked a lot about him and I have talked for hours actually about Web3 gaming in general. And we even had something on here on this channel as well. So in my opinion, it would be great if he kind of came in and we just had a real discussion about that as well. And that will be for the next roundtable. So final thoughts on what we've talked about today, just in general, and just on what is beer money to you.
I'll start.
Yeah.
So beer money to me is as close to passive as possible. AJ brought up Caden. To me, that is a perfect beer money app because once you set it, it's completely passive. You'll have to go in and cash out of it every 2 to 3 months. I've got other apps like, Bridge Money, Benjamin. They give me a little extra. Once I get that set up, they give me a little extra money when I make transactions. It's passive. More passive it is, the better. The least amount of effort I have to put in, the better. So, I mean, those are the apps that you guys should, anybody watching this should be keeping their eye out for, because there's some good ones, and I know we've brought a lot of those to the tables just through this channel. So to me, that's what the more passive it is, the less amount of time I have to put into it, the better.
All right.
That's really hard
yeah.
to follow. Yeah, I would agree with you about the more passive, the better. Something else to consider in terms of what's beer money is, can I do this within a couple of minutes? So, or less time. So we got the low time commitment would be something that would count as beer money. Things that are going to take a lot of your time to do, things that have these humongous requirements that don't have a free to play option. These are not beer money. That's side gig territory. That's possibly scam territory. So that stuff doesn't belong in this sort of thing. So we're talking about things that, well, technically speaking, it's something that you can do that's going to take a little bit of your time, where you can be able to afford a case of beer, hence beer money.
I agree with all of that, and to me, you sort of touched on it. There's got to be a free to play option. There's got to be no barrier to entry for the average person in terms of costs. Right, they should be able to get in and just start working, which does hurt me because I do like things like Hive Mapper and stuff like that, but I understand there's a cost with that. It's not for everybody, but
there is the fleet option. So
there is the fleet option. There is a way.
Yes.
But so to me, there's got to be a free option. There's got to be a way to do this that I can just sign up for the app, fill out the information, and start doing without having to put my credit card in.
Natix. I'm surprised you didn't bring up Natix.
I love Natix too. I've actually made a fair bit of money out of that by just having the camera on my dashboard, and that is anybody can do that right now, right? That I'm a big fan.
Need some way to mount it. That's it. Need some way to mount it.
Yeah, you just need a mount. Yep. But if you have a GPS mount that or phone mount for your you have a mount for your phone as a GPS anyway. I just use that because they have a built-in navigation feature now too. So everything's right there. So I love it and get paid for it. So.
And I forgot to mention too the barrier to entry too. Also, not just free, but like that anyone can do it. That's why I don't think credit card rewards count as beer money, because again, barrier to entry. Those rewards cards require a very good credit score. Not everyone has that. So stuff like that. But you have cashback rewards programs like Rakuten that would work. Stuff like that, or even Atlas Earth's AMP program. So
and a lot of those are stackable, which I love. Let's stack them up, man. Let's make our pennies from here and there and make $1 real quick. All right, it's great.
So yeah, that's pretty much the video, everyone. This was a great roundtable. This was a very substantial, substantive roundtable, in my opinion. And we got through a lot, and I think we do agree on 3 apps in particular will not be in Beer Money Mania. I apologize to all the Go Mining fans. I apologize to all the X fans. But no, they are disqualified from Beer Money Mania this year. And I will repeat that during the introduction for the selection show that is coming up in a couple weeks. So yeah, that will be that will be then. So All right, everyone. That's the video. I am putting everyone's referral links down in the description below as well.
I get free cash.
Yeah, of course you get free cash. You always get free cash, man. I've actually, especially, and I should probably, I want to put Shane's Wapsie Valley Athletics link as well below, but he won't let me. He won't let me. So there's that.
It's not even on YouTube anymore. They transferred it over to some other sports site. I can't even think of what it's called now. But if you want to go to the YouTube channel, look up Wapsie Valley Baseball. You can see some things that I did previous years, but you won't see anything live, I don't think, going forward.
All right, so and then of course I'm gonna link TastyWallet's guide, AJ's channel, and of course our Discord server, and amongst other things as well. And I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Yep.